Hey, today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, testing alkalinity, calcium, and magnesium. Hi, this is Bruce with the Aquarium Live. So today we're going to talk about how easy it is to test for your calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium. I'm going to demonstrate this with a Red Sea test kit. This is the test kit I use most often. The whole point of this video is to show you how easy this whole process is. It makes a huge difference in your reef aquarium to have the proper level of calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium. So I'm going to go over all the details of testing with you, and then we're going to do a part 2 to this to show you how to calculate and add the right amount of supplement to your tank. Okay, so here's our test kit. The reason why I'm using this one is because I actually use this on service calls all the time. It's I think it's put together fairly well, and it's also it's got this case. It's easy to transport. It's also fairly accurate. So first thing I'll do is show you the cards. Okay, so here's the cards I was talking about. This one is specifically for the alkalinity. I can go ahead and run through all three of them with you really quick and show you. These cards make it a lot easier with the steps all here in place. For example, they're number 1. We're going to add 10 milliliters of our aquarium's water into the test vial. We're going to hook up the titrator. We're going to pull out a syringe full of reagent. We're going to put that in the titrator there, and I'll show you how to do all that. And then we're going to go drop by drop while we're shaking it. And then with this particular test, it's going to start out being a blue color. It's going to go to a green color. And on the alkalinity test here, it's kind of nice because if you hit yellow, you know you've gone too far, so you'll need to repeat the test. So we're looking for that green color there. So on the back of the cards, you've got the scale there, and it corresponds with the amount of reagent that you use in the syringe. And I'll also show you that when we get to the testing. So if we've used, for example, half the reagent, then you could calculate what your DKH or milliequivalents per liter is of alkalinity. This is all about just getting that number. Once you've got that number, you can easily calculate it over, and we'll be going over that as well. Okay, so here we've got the card for the calcium, similar to the alkalinity, just a couple more steps, no problem. 5 milliliters of aquarium water into the test vial, 5 drops of the part A. You're going to shake that up. It's asking for you to do that for 10 seconds. 1 spoonful of the part B, it's a powder. You just want to do a nice level spoonful. You're going to shake that for about 20 seconds. Same thing we've got here. Add the little titrator adapter. Fill up your syringe with the reagent, and then we're just going to do that drop at a time. It's going to start out being a pink color, and then it'll be a pretty dramatic change when it's done. It'll change to that blue color, and then we'll be able to get our number. On the calcium card, super easy. It's just going to show you, let's say we've used 0.80 of the reagent, then we're going to be at 400 parts per million of calcium. Alright, last card here, the magnesium. It's only calling for 2 milliliters of water sample from your aquarium. And this one, there's a little bit more to it, but no big deal. The card just points out everything, the whole procedure. They want you to add 1 drop of the part A, waiting 15, stirring it there for 15 seconds in between each drop. And then after that, we're going to put in 5 drops of the magnesium part B. Shake that for 60 seconds. Add the titrator. Get a syringe full of the reagent. And then the same procedure where we're going to do that drop by drop. We start out kind of this pinkish color, and then it's going to end up blue. Really obvious when it changes color. Same drill on the magnesium card. Just you know, how much of the reagent you've used. It will give you the number in parts per million of what your magnesium is. Okay, so I'm going to go through this test by test, just so that you can get a feel for everything, and that you know, you feel comfortable with this. I'm also going to be doing similar videos with some other test kits in case you prefer another test kit. That way we can kind of do a review on them. But for today we'll just stick with the Red Sea Foundation kit. So we've got our water sample here for this alkalinity test. We've got the alkalinity reagent. We're going to need a test vial. We're going to need the syringe for the reagent. And that's it on that one. So we've already been through the cards. We know the directions here. We're taking 10 milliliters of our aquarium water, and we're going to just put that right into the test vial. Now I'm kind of gearing this this tutorial here towards people that haven't done any testing before, but you know, maybe if you have, hopefully this will still be of benefit to you. All right, these syringes have this extra tip here for precision, and this tip here takes some of the reagent, so it's going to leave some air in the syringe, and that's completely normal. You are not trying to get this air pocket out of here. You want to make sure you have your plunger right there on the 1.0 mark, and this kit here comes with this little adapter that makes it easier. You can kind of hold that there. You can actually do this with one hand, but I'm kind of at a weird angle here. But so you just slowly start putting your reagent in drop by drop, and you're going to see this turn a nice blue color. It's a little bit faint, so that might not show up too well. And then you go drop by drop while you're shaking it, and we're waiting for this thing to change to a nice green color. On this alkalinity test, the color isn't as dark as some of the other tests, so you just have to be a little bit careful, make sure you've got good lighting. And you can kind of see when it's starting to change, and that kind of gives you a hint as to when, you know, when you're getting close, so that you can go even a little bit slower. So right there we've made the change. This is kind of a pale green. If it turns to a bright, you know, or it turns over to yellow, then you've gone too far. So you carefully pull that out, and we've got our measurement sitting right there. Alright, so we're getting ready to do the calcium test. We've got our syringe here for the water sample, the syringe for the reagent, the powder here, the part B, and then the part A liquid here, and of course the reagent itself. This one right here is calling for 5 milliliter water sample. So we're going to go ahead and put that into the test vial. And then we're going to add 5 drops of the part A. Swirl that around. We're going to add 1 level spoonful of the powder. And we want to swirl that around until it gets nice and dissolved in the test vial. Another little tip here. As soon as you get the reagent out, put the cap right back on. I can't tell you how many of these I've spilled, and that gets really expensive really quick. So if you're clumsy like me, or even if you're not, it's probably a good idea to throw that cap right back on there. I'm going to screw that on there. And here again, drop by drop, we've kind of got a pinkish color. And when this is done, it makes quite a dramatic change to kind of a dark blue. When it gets close, you can kind of see it starting to change. But when it's when you've got the right amount in there, it's very obvious. And there we go, perfect. Go ahead and cut it. Alright, last but not least, our magnesium test. We've got the part A and part B. We've got the reagent, our sample syringe there, and the reagent syringe. So this test calls for 2 milliliter water sample. I always like to make sure to get all the air out of the sample so it's accurate. The part A here, they want us to put it in 1 drop, swirl it for 15 seconds, and another drop until we've done this 5 times. For the purpose of the video, I'm going to go a little bit faster here. So we've got 5 drops in there. Now we've got our part B, and the instructions are calling for us to add 5 drops and then swirl this for 60 seconds. Alright, welcome back. It's been 60 seconds. And we're going to put this on here again. Now, if you notice, these all have a different color. There's a clear one, a blue one, and a red one. Even though I rinse these thoroughly, I like to use the same color for the same test every single time to avoid any kind of cross-contamination. That's the reason why they're all different colored. Here again, we've got our reagent. Put that cap right back on so we don't spill it. And here we go. Should have a nice blue color when the test is complete. Perfect. So here's our test results. You can see here we've used half of the reagent, and hopefully this shows up. Hopefully this shows up on the camera, but if not, you can take my word for it. So we've got, if we've used half of the reagent, then we're at about 7 DKH right there. So you can see those numbers. Here's our calcium right here, and we've used let's see, we've used 0.7 of the reagent, and that puts us right at 350 parts per million on the calcium, so we're a bit low on that. Okay, here's our magnesium card, and we've used 0.72 of the reagent, and that puts us right at 1440 parts per million. So we're pretty much set on the magnesium. Alright, so hopefully you were able to see how easy that is to test, to get those numbers, and then we're going to show you how to calculate those in the next video so that you can dose the proper amount of calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium. There's also an article that goes with this that I'm going to leave the link in the description, so you can go ahead and check that article out. It's just a real simple, nothing very scientific, just basically how to test your water, how to get the results from that, and then how to turn those results into the correct dosage to make sure that your water parameters are perfect. Also, if you would, please leave any comments you have, any future videos you'd like to see, and please follow me on Instagram. It's vital_reef. Thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate it.